Most women who've never experienced infidelity in their marriage will say, if any man ever cheats on me, I'll leave him and never look back. I've honestly said that myself too. Even told my husband that to his face that if he ever cheated on me, I'd divorce him. Most of us did. We either said it, thought it, or felt it. But then our husband cheated, and we took back our adulterous husband after an affair, or even multiple affairs. Today, we're going to discuss the reasons why. Hi, I'm Jen Grice, author of the book You Can Survive Divorce. I am a divorce mentor and empowerment coach, guiding women to surviving and thriving after divorce. You can find out more about this ministry, my coaching, and my book at jengrice.com. So, repeat betrayal trauma is the topic today. So, I asked in the community section here on YouTube for my channel what they wanted to see next, and they chose betrayal trauma over the two other choices. So this is the first of several videos over the next couple weeks about betrayal trauma, adultery, and recovering after all of that. So let's get started. Why do women stay in an adulterous marriage? And why do they go back to a serial adulterer? Well, there are many different reasons for that, and we're going to discuss many of those today. First, no one is saying, especially not in the church, that adultery is another form of abuse. Yes, many adulterers are abusers or batterers, and you don't have to be physically violent with somebody to be an abuser or a batterer. Those words can seem harsh, as many say, and I do have a blog post about that. I'll link above or below if you want to check it out, about the use of abuse being harsh, as a lot of people believe it is. But the fact is, abusers commit adultery for many reasons, including being able to control the relationship, punish their partner if they wouldn't do what they wanted them to do. They weren't able to control them either in the bedroom or outside the bedroom, often saying, I will find somebody else who will do what you won't do, basically replacing them, which damages self-worth. And another reason is to show that they are desired by another woman. If he can get another woman, that shows his wife that he can get better than her and she's not worthy and not worth it for him. And just to add a disclaimer here, I know women can have affairs, and I know men could suffer just as much as we do as women. And I also know there's instances of men have an affair just once, and then they're truly repentant and they never do it again. They do the hard work to repair any damage they've done in the marriage without blaming their spouse. But this is not what I'm talking about when I say an adulterer is an abuser. I'm saying an abuser makes a choice to also commit adultery. And most times it's repeatedly. Another way an abuser abuses his wife during his affairs is through deception and gaslighting. Like I've stated in another video, gaslighting is a form of abuse. It's psychological abuse to lie to someone and then confuse them to believe that they're crazy to think you're lying, when all along you were lying. Be sure to watch that other video. After being gaslit, women are confused and don't know what to believe. After a while, they believe anything the abuser or adulterer says. And this is how many men get away with serial adultery. And believe it or not, that was only number one. So we're going to go on to number two. Women stay after repeated betrayal trauma because of the years invested. I found out about the first affair the same week I found out I was pregnant. And I didn't want to go through my pregnancy alone, watching my husband, because we couldn't divorce while I was pregnant, with what was my friend before the affair. But after a short period of time playing what the chump lady at chumplady.com calls the pick-me dance, I threw all of his clothes in garbage bags and left them on the back porch. But by that time, he had gotten fired for sleeping with his secretary, and he came home crying about how sorry he was and wanted his family back. Naive me, like many other women, I fell for it. And the church was saying, reconcile, forgive. That's what God wants. He wants to see your marriage restored. And all those things that fed into that, lie that it wasn't abuse and that I could get over all of this. and I believed the empty promises and lies, but we'll get to that in a second. I still didn't want to do this alone, and I didn't want to give up what was invested in all the time that was spent in the marriage, because we put in the years. We want to stick to our vows, and we want to see the future that we had planned for so very long. Betrayal trauma takes that all away and leaves behind a lot of pain and mourning in its place. On my website, I have a blog post about all the pain that comes with betrayal trauma, and I hope you'll check that out in the link below. Number 3, women stay because of the kids and keeping the family together. Does anyone really want to be a single mother, dealing with baby daddy drama and new wives, who was the mistress, and all that, and hoping he'll pay child support while he's out having a good time with his new girlfriend? We also don't want our kids to grow up, in a single parent home. We want the 2 parents and all the promises we made and how we were going to grow and do things in our old age. And at least, if anything, we can protect our kids from seeing dad's affairs when we're all living on the same roof, not divorced, right? Number 4, we stay because we want to believe the empty promises and excuse, like it's just a sexual addiction, and I'll talk about that in another video, and the promises to change. My ex-husband came crying back to me several times. I played that pick-me dance with other women after the first time. It was when I gave up and really just said, I want to get a divorce, that he came back with all the promises. The final time when we did divorce, I refused to play. I knew I wanted a divorce unless there was a miracle change. That miracle change never happened. I didn't hold my breath either. And so we divorced in 2013. Number 5, reason why we stay in an adulterous marriage. Feeling like we'll be punished for the rest of our lives. And this happens in the church sometimes as well, with the fact that a lot of people say you can't remarry after divorce. But we also feel like that we're not loved and we'll never experience love again. Like we wear a scarlet letter because of his affair. Reconciliation makes it all go away, or so we think. Many of us also think that restoration with our husband means that God still loves us. We pray for it, God answers our prayers, and we feel loved. But when the marriage is broken up, we often think that God doesn't love us because he didn't answer our prayers, when in reality, God might have been answering our prayers, just not the way we wanted them to happen. And many women, like in the book of Job, feel like we're being punished when we do face divorce, like there's some kind of unseen sin that we're doing, and so we take the blame. We feel like we didn't do enough in our marriage when it was really adulterous and abusive relationship. We look at ourselves when we should be looking at the person to blame. There's nothing you could have done to stop him from cheating. You can be the most beautiful, most perfect woman in the world, and if a man is a cheater, he'll cheat. I also have a blog post about keeping your husband and how it's not your responsibility, and I'll leave a link to that below as well. One of the questions the pastor asked me was, were you withholding sex? The first time, I had just gotten pregnant, and we were trying to get pregnant for months. So no, I wasn't withholding sex. But still, I felt that his affair was my fault for not doing something right as a wife. And he, of course, stated that his needs were not getting met. That's why he cheated. Blame and shame keeps us locked in that marriage. And when we start to realize that may be what's best, we're able to let go. Number 6 reason why we stay is that all of that confusion and all those things we're hearing from the church and from our husband, that's where emotional and spiritual abuse and legalism comes in. Women are being blamed for their husband's choice to cheat. I have a video coming up with a friend, and we're going to talk about this and how women are taking the blame in the church. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss that. But we're told we need to reconcile because it takes 2 to tango. And since we're being blamed and told it's a marriage problem, not his problem for cheating, no real healing takes place. And the affairs repeat themselves. That happened in my own marriage. I can really honestly say I never healed from the first several affairs in my marriage because I wasn't allowed to heal. It was constantly about his healing and his recovery and never about my feelings and how I felt. I had to bottle it up, brush it under the rug, and pretend it didn't happen. The whole forgive and forget. And so they just repeated themselves. His problem was never solved, and my wounds were never healed. And I really felt he got away with the affairs. There was no justice or no, nobody cared about me. So I also felt he learned that he had power, and men learn that they have power over the wife to blame them. They learn that they can continue to hurt their wives when they, get out of line, according to them. They're not being perfect, the perfect wife. And they can repeat an affair again just to prove the point that you have to start acting right, or they have this power to go cheat. And that's when it becomes even worse abuse. The last reason why women stay after repeated adultery is number 7, he becomes an abuser. He threatens to take everything and even the kids. He uses that power he's gained, especially he's been gaslighting her for years and believes what he says to make her believe that he is in control of everything, even the courts. If he's a narcissistic abuser, he's already smeared her character to everyone. He's already done all the psychological tactics he knows to control her and control how people see her. He's already hidden money or spent it, and he lies to her and to everyone. Yet her self-worth is the one that's low, and she feels she has no other choice but to leave him and stay in the marriage. So why does she stay while he's a serial adulterer, womanizer, and abuser? Because she doesn't know that she can leave and take her life back. And I hope through my ministry, I'm teaching women that. I'm not teaching women to just divorce their husband after one affair and he's repentant. I'm talking about all the damage that's been done of years of adultery and abuse. And those are the women I walk with out of divorce. If you're that woman and you need help, hop on over to my resources page, jengrice.com/resources, and get the help that you need to start to get out. Don't forget a safety plan. I have a video on that as well. And if you need one-on-one coaching advice, you can purchase a consult from my shop or just sign up for my Surviving Divorce Roadmap e-course. There's links to all that below. I'm so glad to walk with you on this journey to healing and thriving after divorce. I hope this was encouraging and empowering to you. If you want to know something else specific about betrayal trauma, like I said, I'm doing a lot more videos on that over the next couple weeks. If you have any other questions about how this continues or how to get out or how to heal, please let me know in the comments below. I'll add your request to my list of videos coming out in the future. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss those next videos, and I hope to see you in the next video. God bless.